What is up, everyone? It's Skate Agent, and today we're going to talk about the process of buying a home from start to about day 17 or 18. So let's get started. At the very end of this, we're going to talk about what happens if the appraisal comes in low, because that could happen too, and you got to figure it out. So let's get started. What is up, everyone? Hey, I wanted to put this video together to kind of break down a few of the steps after you go into escrow. So wanted to talk to you about the first thing. Once you get an accepted contract for a home that you're looking at buying, the first step will be obviously the executed contract will be signed. You'll then send it off that to your preferred lender that you probably worked with, or you probably had your agent help you with. So that's the number one thing, because we need to get that going so that you can get the appraisal ordered and all that stuff. Then the next thing is you're going to open up escrow. And once you open escrow, if you're the buyer, the seller will choose the escrow company. If you're the seller and you're selling a house, they're going to choose it for you. So just want to clear that up. It is a neutral third party company that will handle everything, make sure there's no liens, that there's no issues on the home and so forth. So they're all about clearing title. So when the home is transferred from one person to another. So that is the process for the escrow side of it. The next thing is you have 3 days to submit your earnest money deposit. And sometimes people call it the EMD. A lot of realtors they'll refer to it as an EMD because they think that you know the language. It's called an earnest money deposit. That deposit is put into an escrow account saying, hey, I am under contract for this house. Here is the amount of money. Usually it's about 1 to 2% of the price of the home. So it does vary depending on how the agent sets it up, but typically 1% of the sales price is the norm. Once you get that earnest money deposit, behind the scenes, your agent's going to be working with you to set up home inspection. So the number one you want to do is the home inspection. So they'll inspect everything from AC, sinks, leaks, roofs, screens. Like, they just go through the whole entire house to ensure that there's nothing that's health and safety. If there's items that are health and safety, they'll note that. But then if there's items that need to be repaired, they'll also note that as well. So you'll get a list from the home inspector probably about 24 to 40 hours after that's done. And then if they noted any type of issues with dry rot or termites and so forth, they'll note something on there, maybe water damage and so forth, then move forward with the termite typically. But the termite is so cheap, it's like $100, and it just gives you peace of mind so that if there are termites, they'll have the cost of what it is to alleviate whatever type of pest you have that might be destroying some of the wood on the home. They'll also be able to kind of hit around to see if there's any dry rot that you can't see with the naked eye. Maybe a painter painted over it and then you tap it and it just crumbles and falls apart because of the fact that they have ways to test that stuff. So first thing you want to make sure is that your home inspection is ordered. Next, it's up to you to do the termite. I recommend doing both. In the negotiating, something I want to tell you guys to make sure you also do is when you're looking to buy a home, do your best to try to get the seller to pay for a home inspection. If they don't agree because the market is doing some weird stuff, just buy it. If it's $600, $700, $800 a year, it's well worth it, because let's say if your pool pump goes out or the water heater goes out or something goes bad, that home warranty will cover that. And it's a lot of peace of mind. And I've had mine, so I've been in the house now for 8 years, 9 years or so. I renew it every year because I had a pool pump go out that would have cost me about $2,000. And I think my wife can tell me if I'm off. I think it was either a $100 deductible or a $500 deductible. But even if it was $500 deductible, they paid for a brand new pool pump, Hayward, all the bells and whistles, not out of my pocket. It was installed. It was a vendor that was bought through or that had a contract with our home warranty. Let's see here. And there's a lot of home warranty companies out there. So talk to your agent. maybe even shop around, because there's some home warranties that they'll do 12 months and a month free. There's some that have like entry level ones without a pool, with a pool, and they have like some that, there's just different layers. So you got, diamond, double diamond, whatever. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. I think we have Fidelity. I could be wrong, but we've had the same one for 8 or 9 years. Unbelievable. It's great. I would not ever go without it. I think it's well worth the money to spend to have it. And these inspections, you have 17 days typically, unless the offer says differently. You have 17 days to perform all of your inspections. You also have 17 days typically to do your appraisal. So once you send the contract, your executed contract to the lender, the lender is going to talk to you about setting up an appraisal. That appraisal should be done pretty quickly. You want to get on top of that as quick as possible. And that's going to run you anywhere between $500 to $600. Unfortunately, if you have a lender that might be out of town or not a local lender, which I always recommend using a local lender, because they're a phone call away. Or you can go to their office, you can talk to them. But if you use someone that's a big bank, let's say you use someone in Texas, you need to make sure that they're good, that they have a good reputation, or you can put pressure on them to make it happen. I just recently had someone, they had to pay $1,000 for the appraisal. Don't know why, it's weird. But what's funny is the appraiser is local. So they put the appraisal in this portal, appraiser grabs it and sets up the appointment and does the appraisal and it comes back. So $900 or $600, I would rather pay $600 or $500, not $1,000. Okay, so inspections have to be done within 17 days. At 17 days, day 18, typically if it's in the contract the way it is, because it's wrote out at 17 days, that's the standard contract. On day 18, the contingencies have to be somewhat removed. Unless you have an agreement with the seller or buyer or something, you've extended it, you had an extension, those will be removed. So there's a chance you're gonna lose your deposit. There's a lot of things that could happen. Then, if you don't perform, there's going to be a letter of notice to perform that will go to you to say, hey, you are not doing your job based off this contract. So it's super important that you understand that you perform. So if your agent says do these things, it's important you jump on it quickly with everything. I mean, you have to pay for the appraisal. You have to pay for the home inspection. You have to pay for the termite. Those are costs that you have to pay for. So, and then I'll kind of dive a little bit deeper on down payment and closing costs, or like the closing cost fee. So you have your down payment, which can vary between 3 to 5 to 10% or 20%, depending on what money you have saved. That's your deposit. It's like depositing a certain amount of money on a car. So it's your down payment. The closing costs can vary anywhere between 1.5 to 2 to 3% based off what you have set up with the lender. So there's fees involved with the lenders. Some lenders charge a lot. Some lenders, they work out a deal and they're able to make it work a lot better for you. But it all depends. I mean, it's gonna cost you a little bit of money to service the loan. The other fee is gonna be escrow fees. So all that stuff they do behind the scenes to make sure that the title is clear, that everything is transferred to you, HOA fees, whatever those fees are, that's closing costs. That's gonna be charged to you. Sometimes the seller and the buyer will split the fees. That happens too. But then there's some fees that you just can't split. They're just fixed fees. So just be aware when you're signing a contract that you go through those items and make sure that your agent is very thorough. I mean, the key thing is, what you're paying for the home, how much you're putting down, what you're getting for concessions from the buyer or seller, however that works, or whatever you're on. The time frame, and then you got to jump on the earnest money deposit, jump on the inspections, get that going. So if there's repairs, you can get it done quickly. What else is there that has been coming up lately? There's been a lot of questions from a lot of sellers and buyers. Let's say your repair request or your inspection has a lot of stuff, roof tiles, screen doors, doorknobs broken, blah, blah, blah. you're gonna put together a repair request with your real estate agent. Again, if the list is like 5,000 items, you can put those 5,000 items and present it, but I always recommend, you know what? Let's look at the top 10, narrow it down to top 5. Maybe you present the top 5 because if you present it to the top 5 and you're the seller, you're getting all those requests, the chances of getting 5 done are a lot higher than you sending a list of 500. So it's really how you navigate with your agent. And I know we want all the repairs done. I get that. But again, you ask for it's like a Christmas list. You ask Santa for this much stuff, you get, 1 or 2 of the items. So just narrow it down. You gotta be fair, you know what I mean? Let's say if there's items on there they just don't wanna fix, they might say, hey, you know what? We don't wanna fix these items, but we'll give you $2,000 credit or we'll take $2,000 off the sales price. It's all negotiable. So make sure that you figure out how you're gonna negotiate that. There's a lot of ways that it could happen. I mean, it could be negotiated on the lower price, could be negotiated credit. They could fix it. So if they fix it, that's great. But sometimes, they might use a handyman or they might use a contractor. Just make sure that you explain to them that it has to be legitimately done by a licensed contractor. So it's just not done by some person at Home Depot. Let's see here. You know what? If you guys have questions, comment below. I'd love to answer some stuff. These are just the things that have been coming up lately. And I just felt like I obligated to send a video out that help you guys understand some of the things that have been popping up so that you guys can have some understanding. Again, I'm a phone call away. Even if you don't use me and something's going on, just call me. I'm here to help. I'm here to just make things a little bit smoother, because sometimes agents, they put on this persona of being too busy for the client. And then sometimes, I might do that too, because I'm always running, I'm always active. And I tell my clients, I'm your friend, I'm your consultant. Please ask me any questions, text me. Hey, Charles, what's this? I'll find the answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll ask my broker, I'll ask my team lead. I'll get the answer for you. Otherwise, definitely comment below. If you guys like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I'd love for you guys to just kind of support me in this journey of YouTube. It's kind of hard to press record and get this going, but I'm starting to get a lot of traction, which I really love. And I love the people that I'm attracting. So if you like my style, you like my way, come on, just subscribe. It's free. And if you ever have questions about a house, let me know. If you want to move to Bakersfield, of course, give me a holler. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. If you guys want to know stuff that happens daily in Bakersfield, go to my Instagram where it's more daily stuff. This is more like weekly and different educational things, and I'm doing that flip, so there's stuff on there. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. I will talk to y'all soon. All right, so you ordered your inspections, you ordered your termite inspections, your loan is going, you get your appraisal back, and it is under value. So there is gonna be a piece here. Let's say the house that you bought went under contract for $420, and it came back and it was only worth $410. Well, guess what, guys? Someone's got to make up that difference. If you love the house and you know the house is worth it, it's that perfect house, it's in the perfect neighborhood, guess what? You might have to take the hit, unfortunately. But if you have a good agent, your agent will go back to the seller and say, hey, or the seller agent, the agent that represents the seller, and they will say, hey, we just got the appraisal back, it's short by 10K, what are we gonna do? Well, guess what? What should happen is the seller has to look at this and say, hey, you know what? The market's shifting, things are getting different. The appraisal came back and it was undervalued. We're gonna take the hit. We understand we may have priced it a little bit too high compared to the comp, so they may have to lower it. The other thing, if the agent's stubborn, they just haven't done their homework, they don't know what they're doing, because they weren't prepared to get a price that low on the home because they thought they did their homework. They can do a rebuttal to the appraiser and say, hey, you know what? I don't agree. These are my comps. This is what it should be appraised at 420, blah, blah, blah. It very rarely gets corrected, just to let you guys know. So it's better to do everything in-house versus going to do a rebuttal. It could work. In some cases, probably like 1% of it actually changes. But hopefully this helps you out. Otherwise, if you have more questions, let me know. Have a great day. Bye.